Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alexis and today I'm going to be showing you how I wrap my Pangobooks. For the sake of this video, I am going to try to show some screenshots on this side, just giving an idea of how you walk through the app. So first I got the notification that I sold a book, but it looks like I managed to sell a total of 4 books according to this notification. I go ahead and tap on that in the mobile app. Then it's my most recent listing. It's of course going to mention waiting shipment. So I go ahead, tap on that. And I get to see this lovely scroll down screen, but for the sake of this video, I'm not even going to bother doing so. But if I were to scroll down further on this screen, I would be able to see the full details of my order. There is going to be a listing of all 4 books. It's going to mention to me the total that the books were sold for, and then it's going to mention as well the platform fee. So I believe that's a small percentage, and then of course mentioning my earnings, the order status, tracking, the buyer's information, and additional help and support. From there, I go ahead and say print my shipping label, and then it takes me to a screen that shows me a preview of what would be printed. The reason why it jumps right there anyway is because I've already connected my printer using Bluetooth on my phone. So thankfully it's already set up that way, and it's pretty easy to do so in my opinion, but if you ever need assistance, definitely reach out to support. They're pretty responsive. I managed to print out the information on the sheet. Actually, it's a full 8.5 by 11 sheet, but for the sake of privacy, I just hide the information of the actual label. I'll try to show more later, and then the right half of the page would show the information about the request. So it includes the list of the books that were ordered as well as instructions, but I'm well familiar with this. But regardless, I appreciate the instructions are always readily available. Then, of course, I have to collect the books, so I've already done so. It was just these 4. So I have here My Last Duchess by Eloisa James. I haven't read it yet, but the series is available through my library, and if ever I read it and fall in love with it, I can always find another copy. But for the sake of space and what I currently have been into, I'm ready to part with this. So that was one of them. I also have Wild Child here of the same series from My Last Duchess. I believe the My Last Duchess book is the prequel to the first book, or at least it's considered point 5 in the series. This is a little later, and if I remember correctly, it's around 6 or 5 books in the series, but again, I haven't read it, so moving on. I have When Beauty Tames the Beast, and this one is consisting of a step back, so saying farewell to this beauty here. I did already read this full series, so feel free to check out my ratings on my Goodreads. I thought it was alright. It's a fairy tale themed series, or at least they are inspired by fairy tales. Unfortunately, I don't remember too much other than that. It's already been a couple years since I read them, so I'm just ready to let go. And lastly, I have Bohemian Macrame. This was an impulse buy when I thought I could get into hobbies. Did I ever crack it? No. The spine is perfectly intact. I'm pretty sure I got this at an AC Moore that used to be near me, but they've been long gone for quite a few years now, perhaps even when I was still in high school or before. It's just been quite a long time. So this book has just never been something I reached for, and the hobbies that I even start have nothing to do with macrame. So time to let go. After printing the label and collecting all of the books that were ordered, I go ahead and set that aside. Of course, I have a pair of scissors ready. I'm going to go ahead and use this for the label eventually, but not quite yet. I certainly have tape here. I tend to use just this brand I get at Family Dollar, but really any packaging tape should be fine. Just be careful when you're removing it, of course, because you don't want to prick your fingers. And it gets the best of us sometimes, especially if you feel like you're rushing and you've done this so many times. Accidents happen regardless. It's just like a paper cut. So, considering all the books that I've packaged before, I don't think I've had to buy any packaging supplies other than tape. So, any books that I've sent out, any orders that have been shipped, they all are packaged in things that I've had already, with the exception of like gift wrapping paper. I've used that in orders before, and the tissue paper that you tend to use when wrapping gifts, I've used those to act as a cushion in the past if I had it ready on hand. If I used it for, say, a relative's birthday party, or I even collected them from any holidays that were together, it's one less thing that goes in the trash to me. So I'm perfectly comfortable with doing that. I know that sometimes people may feel as if, your shop needs to be more customized. Maybe you use your own personal stickers, your own thank you card, and that's all well and good. I've appreciated that as well, and even some extra goodies, like if you want to include bookmarkers or whatnot. I never intentionally do that. If ever, maybe I'll give away ones that I've received and I feel like someone else would enjoy them, but I don't feel pressure to do so. I already am being open, I think, in my bio explaining how I package, and I do encourage other people to package with reusing materials and recycled materials, because it's just, at least one more trip. Get two trips out of one box. So, for example, I've already checked the sizing, but I have this Amazon box that wasn't for a previous order of mine this time, but I've definitely ordered from Amazon in the past, especially for independently published books. But this time I got this from a friend. So that's another tip. Be sure to ask friends and family, even people you work with. Just let them know that you tend to use shipping materials and cardboard boxes, mailers. If they're in good condition, you can just easily remove the previous label or cross it out. Personally, I'd rather remove the label entirely if it's already existing. Say there was a mailing label sticker here, I would just peel that off, because it's not just your information that would be on that sticker, but it could be someone else's. It could be information for whoever is giving you the box who had used it before. So just as a courtesy, I remove that instead of layering over it. And yeah, as you can see on this side, this is likely where I removed the label. So when I close this box, I will probably try to peel this off some more. So yeah, just so it's more flat. There we go. No harm done. When I seal it, I am going to put it on top, so that way it's just another barrier for the package. And yeah, as I mentioned, I normally try to use tissue paper that you'd use for gifts and wrapping presents, but since I've already ran out of that, I'm going to go ahead and use paper bag. And again, I find this is fine for me. Of course, plastic helps if you want to have more water resistance and protection, but assuming it's being handled properly, and I'd say for the most part it has been. I've never had any complaints about packages received poorly, so kudos to the US Post Office. But yeah, so I go ahead and take a paper bag, and I'm just going to cut along the folds so that way it's a little neater. and then turn it inside out when I wrap the bags. So one moment as I do that. Just a quick check-in. As you can see, I only cut the front flap first. I'm trying to get as wide a piece as possible, so I will probably maintain this center portion and then cut this other face of the bag, and then I'm going to cut the sides off separately so the width will be about the same for the two faces in the bottom of the bag. And this side will probably just be used as stuffing. So don't hold the scissors like this. I just forgot it for a second. But yeah, these will be used as stuffers on the side. Okay, now that I've got one piece ready, I'm going to go ahead and remove the handles as well. Again, apologize for the noise. But I'm going to go ahead and remove these, whether I cut them off or am able to remove the piece here. I'll probably try to do that. And as you can see, I have the two sides of the bag separated, so this I will likely use as stuffer in the box. Unfortunately, in order to show you how I wrap the books, I'm going to have to go ahead and move the camera, so apologies in advance if the position is not the same. Okay, so due to current available space, I'm just doing this on my bed, but definitely if you have like your floor space or desktop space, feel free to do so there. But for the sake of this and space that I have available, I am just going to do it here. So I would start with the biggest book, which happens to be this one. Okay, so now that I have it laid out on the bed, I am going to go ahead and wrap my books. So first, I'm going to start off with the biggest one for this piece of bag that I've cut out. I'm going to line it up at the fold and go ahead and wrap that up. So with this, I can probably cut around the middle of this in order to fully wrap the book, and then with the remaining half use on the mass market paperbacks. Okay, so it turns out the bag that I have is not enough to wrap all of the books in one go, but that is okay because again, I still have the sides of the bag available. So I do not use tape when it comes to whatever paper that I'm using to wrap on the books because I just don't want to risk making it sticky or more difficult to undo or reuse. I'm just assuming that this is going to be sent to someone who is going to be like me and want to reuse but still have it be neatly packaged. So this is just folded over. As you can see, it's very easy to unwrap once it's taken out of the box. But for now, I just fold this over fully around the book and then fold the sides so it's more tucked. I will adjust that as I package. And then the same for the mass market. I just did that. And then I'm going back to the side flaps of the bag that I previously cut out. So I'm just going to wrap it one way like so, and then use the other half of the bag for the top and the bottom of this book. So then it will fully cover and it will be a lot neater when I put it in the box. Okay, so all the books are neatly wrapped. I have one mass market in this one, two in this wrapping, and then the big book in this. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the stuffing that was in there and then go ahead and put my books in this box. I'm actually going to turn it sideways for now and put the spine of this book hopefully down, assuming I can still tell from feeling it, and then I'll go ahead and put the books and so forth. Finally, I have all my books in the box. As you can see, the stuffing I initially pulled out from the box, it's not quite enough. You really want to make sure it's full so that when you shake the box, you don't hear movement. and you don't want to feel it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut another one of the bags that I have ready, because again, I'm in Jersey and we just have paper bags or totes. So I'm going to go ahead, cut that up similar to how I did earlier, so it's neat and it can be used as stuffing to fill the rest of this box. Okay, so I finally added all the stuffing. As you can see, I actually moved the stuffing around the book, so actually there's cushion on both sides. I felt that would probably be better for packaging, even though the cardboard box is pretty sturdy already. And now I'm just going to go ahead and tape the top closed. I do tape first long ways with a little extra on the sides, as well as this way, perpendicular. So it's more secure, and I do make sure to cover the corners, because as you can see, sometimes the corner does leave a little opening and it just feels better to me. Okay, so just quick I guess tip. So I put the tape along the sides, and then I take the top flap, kind of like you're wrapping a gift, and just fold it over, so that way the corners are completely tucked and hopefully nothing leaks in or out. But you know, it's not like I'm sending liquids this time, so I'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Just to be safe, I do the same on the bottom. Even though it's already taped once by Amazon, I'm also going to add it on these sides. Okay, and now that I have my label ready, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the box. It includes the barcode, address, etc. When adding tape to the label, I do first tape it down the middle, just maybe leaving about a 1/4 inch to half an inch on both sides of the label edge. Make sure to at least have it flat on the barcode, if not flat the whole way. And then I'm going to place 2 additional pieces so the label is fully covered. Okay, and now it is ready to be shipped. And that's how I wrap my books for any orders that I have on Pangobooks. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any tips and tricks on how you wrap your packages. And until next time, my name's Alexis. Take care and happy reading.